Hi everyone, welcome back to the next diecast. In today's video I'll be showing you and reviewing this 2018 scale Jeep Wrangler TJ Sahara made by Maisto. I bought this model off of Amazon for $28. It was from Amazon Warehouse Deals. As you saw in the unboxing, it did come in a damaged box. And I was kind of surprised to find this on Amazon still, because Maisto did discontinue it fairly recently, so you can still find this on some sites. Like Amazon still has a listing for this, only now it's past like $40. And you can still find it on like independent diecast sites, such as Diecast Model Wholesale and whatnot, and eBay, of course, too. Maisto made this model in 3 different colors. Upon its discontinuation, it was made in this nice black with the beige top, or brown top, I guess, and also a white with the same colored top and interior. And Maisto also used to make a burgundy version of this Jeep as well. Now, Barago also made a version of the Wrangler Sahara, and it's pretty much identical in terms of details. It just came in different colors. That version, Barago made it in bright red, I think kind of a gold and a dark blue. And they were identical in terms of details to this Maisto version. The Maisto version is going to be easier to find in general. Maisto and Barago were doing that kind of weird thing in the mid-2000s with some of their models where they both would make the same exact model but just offer it in different colors. They don't do that anymore, and I think that's kind of a good thing because that kind of created some confusion. I think back then it's like, why are you making the identical model in both your lines? They are owned by the same company and everything, so I guess that sort of makes sense, but at the same time it was a bit odd. But overall, this model is pretty well detailed, I would say. The details do align well with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon that Maisto makes and that I also have a model of. And that one's going to be easier to find because it's still being made. But this one you can still find on Amazon and some other sites. The price might be a little bit higher now just because it is no longer being made. But I think the price is worth it because this model is actually pretty well detailed. So this is based off the 2003 to 2004 Wrangler Sahara, and the reason you can tell that is because after 2002, Jeep did redesign the seats of the Wrangler TJ, and they also introduced some new trim levels like the Rubicon and whatnot, and they also made some changes to the interior a little bit as well, like on the center stack with the radio and stuff like that. The Sahara trim was actually dropped after 2004 in terms of the 2-door version. I think for the next generation of the Wrangler, the Jeep Wrangler JK, they did have a Sahara, but that was only offered on the 4-door version. So Jeep kind of gave the Wrangler TJ like a mid-cycle facelift for 2003. And Maisto does make models of the 2003 Sahara, as you see here, and the Rubicon. So that's kind of cool to see you can get 2 different trims of the same Wrangler. And I will be kind of comparing the details of the Rubicon and the Sahara in the second half of this video. But for right now, we'll get into the details of the Sahara here. In the front, Maisto does an awesome job of capturing the overall look and shape of this Wrangler, as they did with the Rubicon as well. Nicely molded grille there. That's actually a true grille, and it's made of full metal. You can see right into the radiator there, which is a very cool touch. Nice job with the headlights. They do have a peg in the center of each one, but you would kind of see the bulb on the real headlights there, so I don't think that's a big deal. And you actually have separately cast turn signals, which Maisto does not always do, but on here they actually have those. Although the ones on the side are actually painted on, so you have kind of one separately cast turn signal and then one on the side where it's just painted on. So that does look a bit odd when you kind of look at them side by side, but from a distance you can't really tell too much. And you have these lower fog lights down here too attached to this bumper, and the bumper is also very sturdy. You got a Jeep license plate and you have this Jeep inscription on the upper portion of the bumper there. And all the lenses are nicely done too. They have a nice texture to them, which is nice to see. Paint quality on the model, I would say, is very well done. This black is not a metallic black. If you get the burgundy version, that will be a metallic version, but it's nice and smooth throughout, nice and evenly applied. There's no orange peel or rough areas and whatnot. The only disadvantage, I guess, is that the black will show all the fingerprints and whatnot, so just be careful with that. But as long as you clean it, fairly frequently, you should not have that problem. This hardtop is done in plastic, kind of a glossy plastic too. You can see that the damaged box actually did create some slight marks on the roof. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting. I guess that's a good thing. So I did use some Novus on this roof to get them off. There is still one there you can kind of see, but that was just a factory defect because the box was kind of caved in a slight bit on the top. And I guess if this were an actual 2003 Wrangler, you would kind of see some, fading or rubbing on the hardtop. And of course, the whole roof is a separately cast piece of plastic, and I would say it's actually pretty well done. Nice side windows on here too. The wiper actually looks pretty well done too. And it looks like you can actually open up this rear glass portion, but you actually can't. It would have been a cool touch if Maisto had included that, but they didn't, which is unfortunate. On the side, nice looking wheels that are accurate to the Sahara trim of the TJ. And of course, you get full, very good steering and full suspension as well. And of course, you have the Jeep badge on the side along with the Sahara logo or inscription, I guess I should say. They're both done in white. And the Jeep is actually raised up. That's an attribute that the Rubicon version that Maisto made has too, and that's very well done. And you also have the running boards on the sides, which are nice to see. This piece here and this piece here, I'm not really sure what they are, but on this side it is a little bit loose. Not really sure why. I might have to pull that off and glue it back on, but I think that's just a factory defect, so not a big deal. Nice sturdy side mirrors done in a gloss black, and you do have the adjustable antenna that you also get on the Rubicon. You can kind of fold it back and forth. I have it kind of straight like that when I have it up on the shelf. Awesome touch. In the back, nice spare tire, accurate size and shape to the other ones. And you do actually get a tiny little Jeep inscription. That's actually on the other wheels too. Nice attention to it, to like finer detailing there. Nice looking taillights. This one's a little bit crooked, but that's not a big deal. They are separately cast plastic pieces, of course, and there is a small peg in each one, but they're not really that easy to see, which is nice. And you do have kind of a separate taillight piece up here that is kind of painted on with the spare tire. Opening features on the model, you do have the opening rear door, of course. And unlike those Maisto 2021 Ford Broncos, this door does open up all the way, and you can see all the way into the back here. Not really too much to see. I guess on the real Wrangler, if you want more storage, you gotta fold down this rear seat. And the rear seat is actually a separately cast piece, which looks well done. Kind of a nice texture in there. You have some detailing on the door. You got some vents in this extra black portion here too. The black kind of transferred onto the beige a slight bit, but I don't think that's a big deal. That's probably just a factory defect. Kind of a glossy finish on here. I'm not really sure if that's accurate to the real Wrangler, but I think it looks well done. And this door actually does latch into place. So when I got the model, it came kind of like this, and I thought, oh great, warped door, but nope, it wasn't actually warped. You just have to push it all the way in like that, and it does click into place, which is nice to see. Speaking of clicking into place, this hood features the same hood locks that you see on the Maisto Wrangler Rubicon and also on their 2014 and 15 Wrangler Willys models that they make. And yeah, Maisto does make two versions. Well, I should say they make a model of the 2014 and 15 Jeep Wrangler Willys, both the top on and the top off versions. They're both, of course, the same trim level, same wheels and whatnot. They just have different paint colors, and that's why I'm saying 2014 and 15, because some paint colors are 14 colors, some colors are 15 paint colors. And Maisto kind of did the same, I think, for these TJ Wranglers. The one Rubicon color that they made was 2003 only, and a couple of the other colors I think were for later, like 05 to 06 model years. So I think that's kind of cool that Maisto does that with their models. But anyway, yeah, you do have the same hood locks or hood latches you see on the other Maisto Wranglers, and they just kind of pull out like this. Just be careful, don't bend them back too far or else they might warp. And then this one is also pulled out. And then once they're pulled out, you can open up the hood, which reveals a pretty well detailed engine in here. It's all actually multiple like separately cast plastic pieces. You have all these warning labels up here, which are actually very well done. Kind of all these hoses and wires throughout, and you can actually see down to the bottom of the car as well. And you can actually see into the radiator with this grill here. But all different colors going on here. This is pretty accurate to the real Sahara's engine. I think it is the same engine as the Rubicon. They actually differ in transmissions though. This has a manual transmission and the Rubicon has the automatic, which is a cool kind of minor detail that Maisto includes in both models. But the engine detailing, I would say, is excellent for a Maisto model. You see all the different wires and hoses throughout. They just do a very good job in here overall. And you do have actually a plastic liner underneath the hood, which is a nice extra touch there. Go ahead and close that up. And to close the hood all the way, you do have to actually release these latches. So we'll pull that one back, and then we'll pull that one back. It's kind of hard to do with one hand here, as you can probably tell. Yeah, I had to use two hands, but then I just kind of lift up the hood a little bit, and then you just have to kind of align these latches with the holes. We'll use two hands again. So Maisto could have just included the latches as just sort of detail touches and not necessarily functioning latches, but they actually went to the extra mile of making these functioning hood latches. And this is true, of course, for the Rubicon version and their 2014 and 15 Jeep Wrangler models too. And I thought that was always cool that they did that. And yeah, it is kind of a hassle to actually use them and keep the hood closed and open. I had to use two hands just to kind of demonstrate it, but I mean, the fact they included that, I think, is a very cool touch. And of course, you have opening doors on the interior as well. Nice detailing on these door panels here, kind of a nice texture, and you see the window winder and the door handle. And this is kind of like a khaki, almost like a beige, or we'll call it gray. It's kind of a blend of, like, you know, tan and beige a little bit, or tan and gray a little bit. But the color is actually accurate to the real Wrangler Sahara. This will be an interior package you could actually get on it. But door panel detailing, very well done. Excellent detailing on the seats as well, just like the Rubicon. Nice kind of fabric cloth pattern going on. Even the back seat too, very well detailed. These have kind of a two-tone look to them, whereas the Rubicon has the all-black look. But Maisto did, I think, a really good job with the overall shape, look, and texture of these seats, which is very nice to see. And of course, they do an awesome job with the dashboard and center stack detailing as well. You can see all these different kind of buttons that are colored in on there with the HVAC controls and the radio controls. It is kind of hard to see in this lighting, but you can kind of see a little bit down there with these different HVAC settings. Nice texture going on with this kind of dashboard, or the section of the dashboard that's above the glove box. Very well done. And nice detailing on the steering wheel too. You have the Jeep logo and the very small airbag symbol, and the horn symbol too. And also kind of a nice leather pattern going on. Very, very cool touches. This definitely, I think, goes to show how well detailed Maisto's models from the early to mid 2000s were. Granted, they are pretty well detailed today, but back then they really went the additional mile, I think, with just the finer detailing of their models. Of course, the undercarriage, not really a whole lot to see. You have the single exhaust pipe going throughout, and it is done in chrome. So a little bit cheap looking, but a lot of Maisto's undercarriages have that chrome exhaust, so I don't think that's a big deal. All right, and we'll kind of end the video off with comparing the details of the Maisto Jeep Wrangler Sahara and Jeep Wrangler Rubicon from the 2003 to 2004 era of the Jeep Wrangler TJ. So of course, obvious differences, we'll get those out of the way. Maisto is still making the Rubicon, just not in this color. This was a Sam's Club color for 2019. They discontinued the Sahara last year, but it is still pretty widely found on, you know, various sites like Amazon and eBay and whatnot. You can find both of these models for usually between, you know, $15 if you can find this at Sam's Club or another wholesale club, to $35 or $40, depending on which site you end up buying it from. Of course, top down, top on. This has the hard top, and this would have the soft top if it were actually folded up. And of course, different wheels. The Rubicon came standard with these wheels and kind of beefier tires, and the Sahara came with this wheel style and these kind of slightly less beefy tires, but they're still pretty thick tires. And of course, you have the different paint colors and everything. But aside from that, pretty similar stuff in the fronts. You know, same turn signals, same fog lights, even the same license plates too, as far as these Maisto versions go. On both, you do have the adjustable radio antenna, which is a cool touch. And you have the gloss-colored mirrors and the same wipers on both. This one even has the same kind of bent downward wiper. I forgot to mention that. Kind of a cool touch there, I guess. And of course, different kind of badging on the side. This one, of course, has the Rubicon inscription on the hood, nothing up there, and the Jeep badge down there. This has nothing on the side of the hood, but you have the Sahara Edition badge there and the Jeep badge on the underside, or the Jeep badge underneath that. And then in the back, and of course with the Sahara, actually, these are full doors, and on the Rubicon you have the half doors. So on this one, this whole door frame would stay in place, or you would remove it like this. This one does not have a fully framed door. It has kind of just like a half door. I think they're still doing that on the current Wrangler JL, unless I'm wrong, I'm not really sure, but another kind of minor difference there. And even the door handles are different. This one has kind of a side door handle, and this one has a regular door handle. Kind of cool. I assume that's true for all the full door Wrangler TJ models. They have this door handle, and then all the half door TJs have this door handle. In the back, aside from the obvious, you know, hard top and soft top, not really too much else to really report in terms of differences. Even the insides of the rear trunks, I guess we can call them, are the same. This even kind of has the same color that this one has. This is slightly more beige than gray, but they're kind of the same. And same, you know, texturing back there as well. And of course, the engines are going to be the same as well, both very well detailed and everything. These are inline sixes that you would see on the real Wranglers, which is cool to see. And then we got to close up the hoods and put these latches back in place. So I'll be right with you. And then the only differences left are actually on the interiors of the models. Of course, obvious differences. Different colored seats. They're the same shape, of course, but on the Rubicon, you have the all black kind of cloth look. And on the Sahara, you have this kind of two-tone, kind of like beige and gray look to the seats. It's harder to see. Kind of get a better look with the back seats here. See, the centers have a different color than the rest of the seats, almost like a stripe pattern going on back there. You even have the same cup holders too, which is kind of cool on the back seats there. And then here it is on the Rubicon. Now the transmissions are actually different on these models. Maisto usually doesn't go that far with, detail differences, but on these models they actually did. This Rubicon has the automatic, as you can see here by the shifter and everything, and the number of pedals, of course, and this Sahara has the manual transmission. And of course, these would actually be true to the real trim levels of the real Jeeps. So I think Maisto really did an awesome job with those differences there. Kind of subtle unless you look at it like, really closely, or if you really know a lot about these, Jeeps. But the fact that Maisto included that, I think, is very cool. Aside from that, you have pretty similar detailing on the center stacks and everything there. Same radio and HVAC controls and whatnot. But yeah, that's actually cool to kind of have these both side by side and look at their differences and everything. Honestly, I'd recommend getting both if you can. I think it really comes down to if you prefer, like the open top look or the closed top look and like what colors you want. The Rubicon tends to be available in kind of more bright colors, or I think in more colors in general. The Sahara, as far as the Maisto version, only came in 3 colors over the years, but I guess if we count the version made by Barago, that's 6 colors in total. Although that one's going to be kind of harder to find compared to the Maisto version. It was not made for as long of a period of time. So both these models are pretty widely available as of now. They've been made since 2003, pretty much nonstop. Of course, Maisto did recently stop production of the Sahara version, but you can still find it on like Amazon and eBay and whatnot. So if you can find the Sahara, I would definitely recommend getting it. If you can find it for like a good price and everything. And honestly, like if you can find both of these models for good prices, I would say definitely get them, especially if you're into these Wrangler models. So that was kind of cool to review this and kind of compare the details of both versions of the TJ Wrangler that Maisto has made. And as always, feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the video here. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.